does all the recruiting. So they start the same, and then maybe we can meet and talk a little bit on Thursday. But come see me right after class today.
Okay.
Because I might, unless someone needs me for something, I might have some time.
Okay.
Right after class. What? I know. I used to own it. I sold it to them.
That is very low. Way over. And you just kind of got to
Yeah, I sold it to them. All right, let's get started. How is everyone today?
Awesome.
Good. All right, so a couple of things that we're going to cover today. All right, since today is technically our last class, we're going to do a final review. We're going to strategize and get people in a little bit of groups, okay? So I could assign you your final project here, okay? And just give you some things to take with you today. So I'm glad you guys are here. I'm sure more people are going to come within the next 20 or 30 minutes. But instead of waiting for everyone, let's go ahead and get started. Okay? All right. So I have, your finals right in front of me. See? I have your finals right in front of me here. All professional, all ready for you to go. All right. And as you can see, our finals all fill in the blank. There's no multiple choice anything, okay? Does it make sense?
Wow.
There's no multiple choice anything in here, all right?
It's really easy for us.
Yeah, because I just want you to know it, so I didn't want you to guess it, okay? I've revised it over the years, and it just gives us, and of course, whoever our insurance carrier is, and our company, a good idea that you're pretty solid, okay? Now, how the final works is right at 10 a.m. I give you the exam, and you finish what you can in 1 hour. Okay, you finish what you can in 1 hour. Okay, if you can finish it, finish it. If you can't finish it, I hope you finish more than one question. Okay. And then I have to take my time and read it through and see if I think you're somewhat ready to get started, or not, then I'll just say, hey, study a little bit more and come in and we'll give you a test again. And again, we'll give you an hour and see how much you can get done.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay? So don't stress out about it. It's not like you have to wait, because I only teach this class once a year. Okay? It's not like I'll repeat the class in a week or two. No. I only do this class once a year. Okay? And so because of that, if you don't pass it, then just come and take it again until you have a decent grasp of the information, okay? Yes?
I was curious if it revised from the last year, so that's like it last year. I was fine with it. I don't know if it's the same test or you revised.
I've revised it, like for example, in this year's exam, I've revised it where you're gonna have to fill in the blank on a sample letter of intent, right? You'll probably have to fill in the blank for a sample purchase agreement, okay? Of course, there's general questions that you'll be filling in, so it's not gonna be too bad. Sammy, if you could turn on the air. Oh, actually, you know what? Why turn on the air when outside is perfect weather? I'm just gonna open the door. Okay. All right. So for our final review, because we do have some things we need to get done today. So for our final review, it'd be good if you knew, how to do a letter of intent. The reason why is because when you get into real estate, that's the first thing we do, or LOIs. Okay, there was a class where we went in detail on how to do an LOI for a lease and how to do an LOI for a purchase? You know, I think that in real estate, in commercial real estate, you know, it's good to be able to draw up a contract. Okay, it's good to be able to draw up a contract. All right. You know, it's good to know. You know, like today, one of the things that, you know, at the end of today, what we're gonna do is, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then I'm gonna have everyone sort of get up and get into little groups on areas that you might want to specialize in. I want you to get into little groups on areas that you might want to specialize in, okay? Now, not to say that you can't do this business on your own, not to say that you can't do this business on your own, but in general, okay, how commercial real estate works are that there are commercial teams, okay? You know, whenever you go out and you see C.B. Richard Ellis signs or Cushman and Wakefield signs or Collier signs, rarely do you see only one name on that sign. Does it make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
You normally will see 2 or 3 names on the signs. So if you are an individual agent, you know, and Sammy, can you mute everyone on the thing for me, or Saruda, if you don't know how to do it? Because we actually can hear people. And if you're online right now, mute yourself, because I can hear people in the background. Okay? But, yeah, people are playing music.
So you hear the music on the video too,
Okay?
when you're on the.
No, don't mute me. Do you know how to do it, Sam? Here, just call Saruda.
This is the new one I'm seeing.
Control the speakers.
Okay. So we're gonna be getting people into little groups, all right? And how we're gonna do it? Yeah, okay, that's fine. How we're gonna do it is that at sort of midway through class, I'm gonna have you decide, you know, is there a type of commercial real estate you want to learn? Okay? You know, like for example, I have my land guys and gals that really love to work in land. For example, you know, we have one of our land people just put in an LOI for like a $7 million piece of land. And now I had to go look at it because we're hopefully meeting sometime pretty soon with these potential investors, because they want to purchase the land, they want to piece up the land, they want to save some of the land for themselves, and the rest of the land they want to go ahead and get a map designed so they can sell off the pieces of their land. Does that make sense? So those are land people, okay? Land people, like I said, you know, it's sort of long, tedious work, but you hit a lot of home runs with land. Does it make sense? You can hit a lot of home runs with land. You know, like for example, you know, like land, if you could sit on it, like for example, there's plenty of pieces of land that you buy that's agricultural, but you have spoken to the city several times, and the city says, we'd like to have, you know, some type of commercial and mixed use on this piece of land. And the city just sort of tells you, we'd like to have that happen. It's part of our general plan. But it's the individuals that make it happen. The city that just don't go take over your land and make it happen. Does it make sense? Do you guys understand that? In our very first class, I said, there are gold mines sitting out there, and there are gold mines where you don't need to find gold underneath the earth to make gold. There are properties that I've seen people pick up for in the hundreds of thousands and sold them in the tens of millions. You guys understand that? And it's all based on what the highest and best use. See, in our business, one of the things in commercial is that you're always looking for highest and best use. Okay? You know, there was a corner long time ago, we had a client, and I don't remember all the details, but they had a tire store. They had a corner that was a tire store, and they were trying to sell it for like $200,000-$300,000, and they got me involved, and I said, yeah, you have a nice, you have a nice lot, but the best use of that lot isn't a tire store. Because your tire store, you're not making any money. So if you're trying to sell the tire store, old tires, it's not worth anything. The value is in your land. If you tear the whole thing down, you might be able to turn that, because it was a pretty big corner on a main street, you might be able to turn it into something else. And it was. You know what's there now? A big gas station is there now. What they were going to sell for $250,000, $300,000, we ended up getting close to $1 million for. Okay? But now it's like a $6-7 million gas station on it. You understand that? So this business is about highest and best use. There's plenty of farms out there that are right now sitting unentitled. You know what the word unentitled means? Thank you. Yeah. You know what the word unentitled means? Unentitled land means that, or the entitlement work is not done. It just means that, you want to build, let's say, a shopping center or a multifamily project on this piece of land. A project like that, the land alone might be $3, $4, $5 million. But you know what? If it was zoned only land and people don't know, they might sell it to you for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And the moment, boom, you start entitling it, it's worth $4 million. And it could take you a year to get it entitled, right? So those are the land experts, okay? Those are the land experts, all right? And the beauty of it is that when you go into an area with mostly farms, these people don't have a ton of money. And they all know each other. So when you list one piece of land and you help them get it entitled, pretty soon the whole entire community lists with you. And you don't have just one land listing, you might have 5 or 10 land listings. Does that make sense? You might have 5 or 10 land listings. And if it's all entitled, then you go to a builder and you say, hey, or you go to a commercial developer and you say, hey, these are entitled. And then depending on how far you want to take the project, you can take it from just entitled, meaning you get the land, you do the paperwork necessary to rezone that land, get the city to approve it, now it becomes entitled. You want to go that extra step, then you get engineers and architects to break it up. And you start chopping up that land. Oh, hey, this 40 acres, 15 acres, they allow me to do commercial. The rest, they allow me to do multifamily or high density residential. You start breaking it up. Does it make sense? So it's a very interesting recipe. And then of course, if you want to take it to the next step, then you develop yourself. Right? So in development, even in residential development, you go from farmland to residential land, and that's the entitlement stage. You go from that residential land to paper to just a tentative map. That means you have an idea and you want to sell the idea. You want to take it to the next step. You turn the tentative map into a real map with lots. And people will just buy the lots, right? So now you go from just an idea to an idea that's approved, and now you're selling each lot, right? Because there's a deal going on right now where the people said, we will pay you $60,000 a lot. So they're telling our client, we want you to take it to the point where the city approves. and we will pay you $60,000 a lot. The more a lot the city will approve, the more we'll pay for your piece of land. So even though we're not even past the entitlement stage yet, they're already offered a certain amount of money per lot. If we could get 200 lots, even better. But they just want the number of lots approved, right? So they said, you take it to that point. And it could be fast, 6 months, a year. It could be never. With the Williamson Act, and like for example, there's a Williamson Act up and down, 99, and some of these acts don't allow you to build for 10, 20 years. Does it make sense? Because it's locked in to keep it agricultural. And some you can take out of Williamson Act. Because you petition, hey, we can't put farm here. Does it make sense? Imagine getting a piece of land that's locked because of the Williamson Act, but then talking to the city and getting a feel for them and saying, hey, this might be a candidate to get out of it. You're picking a piece of land for $500,000, you get out of the Williamson Act, you change it to high density something. Oh man, you took a $500,000 property and turned it into an $8 million property. Does that make sense? So that's one type of real estate, commercial real estate. You guys understand? Another type of commercial real estate, thank you. Another type of commercial real estate is retail. Retail are all the shopping centers you see. Okay, we talked about that. Retail is, the beauty of retail is if you get to lease up, if you get to list a retail, for example, one of our agents closed, I think, a $10, $12 million retail center. Commission was $200,000, $300,000. Closing was normal. Has income on it. If you help a client buy a retail center, you might step in and be the leasing agent too, and make money that way. Every time it leases up, you're the agent for that. Okay, retail has a combination, and we have plenty of clients who want to lease up a restaurant. Okay, and the beauty is in this type of real estate, it's easy to find who needs help. First-time home buyer, not as easy to find. They're in apartment complexes, but then you have to actually go to them and say, hey, come to my office. I can help you buy instead of rent. So sometimes it's hard to find those people. Of the 10,000 homes that are in a community, it's hard to find the person ready to sell their home. See, your job is to find the person ready to sell their home. Does that make sense? You see? But in commercial, it's easy to find. When you're in retail, then there's conferences you go to just for retail. Okay? Some people, they like industrial. Matter of fact, one of our agents has some industrial businesses that I was helping him with this morning, looking on CoStar for industrial space, and some people will like to work in industrial. Industrial, you deal with bigger square footages. You know what I'm saying? People don't rent or buy 1,000 square foot industrial warehouses. Even the smallest ones are 10,000, 10,000 square feet. Where in retail, you deal with little smaller deals, but you deal with more of them. You know what I'm saying? Industrial, you normally deal with big deals, okay? Yeah, I want to lease out 100,000 square feet of space for my supply company, whatever it is, okay? So industrial, you deal with bigger deals, but there are fewer of them. And leasing and retail, you deal with a lot of deals. You deal with deals closing every single month, and then once in a while you sprinkle in there big shopping center sales, but you do a lot of leasing. Then of course, office is similar to leasing, okay? But when you do offices, one of the things that you'll start getting into when you do offices is start getting into, working with clients on those SBA loans. Remember we talked about that? Some people specialize in working with offices, medical offices and medical groups. That's awesome, because if you start working with like a medical group and you start working with 2 or 3 friends from UC Davis, they just graduated from UC Davis. They've been working as doctors or specialists or something like that, and pretty soon they become a specialist in something. They become a plastic surgeon or whatever. Then you start working with them to buy their first retail center, or you're the one that helped them lease it, right? You got them to a medical center first, and then after that you're working with them, and as they come time to renew their lease, you say, hey, you know, you guys have been practicing for 4 or 5 years. Why don't you guys just build something? Yeah, Robert, I want to buy something instead of renting something. So then you help them get the SBA 504 or 7A loan. Remember we talked about that last week, right? And so you just get them into buying something. And pretty soon they become this little medical group, and now they're buying, you know, a building every other year with you. Make sense? So in commercial, there's a lot of loyalty, you know. But who do you want to find? You want to find the doctors and the dentists and the chiropractors early on, because these guys have already worked for 1 or 2 years for somebody. They have, you know, a nest egg saved up, right? They're doctors, so they could take money out of their home. They probably own a house, right? So, you know, they have money. So money's not an issue with them. They just want to know what they need to do. So you help these doctors, these lawyers, these smart people, you help them buy buildings. And they're your best friend because of that. See? But it's easy to find those people. All you do is open up Google, Facebook, look for doctors, and that's it. It's like, hey, I'm a commercial broker with, I'm a commercial specialist with Berkshire Hathaway, and you know, I want to see if it makes sense for you to buy a building instead of renting one. Are you renting your space? Why don't you buy a building? Does that make sense? Buy a standalone. There's this new complex, because all you see is like they're always building these condo complexes. Does that make sense? They're building them, and then in a minute here I'm going to show you. Okay, so that's another specialty is office. Retail really don't work with the doctors. Doctors don't really go into retail. So if you say I want to work with primary doctors and helping them buy these buildings and leasing the doctors, they don't really do retail too much. Does that make sense? Once a dentist sometimes do. A dentist, the dental unit will work retail sometimes too. But most, in general, they're office in medical centers or medical parks. Does it make sense? You know, the orthodontist, ortho, dentist, they all tend to stay in the same place. So you know what you do is you find these medical office buildings and you see all the units they have available for sale or for lease, and you go to people who have their own, who are renting, and say, hey, why don't you buy this? I have SBA loan for you. If you know, I'm thinking the project's going to be a $3 million project, and if you have $300,000, I think you're good to go. You should own. Oh yeah, let me see. Does it make sense? So you sort of build your project out, and then you go to people, and that's what people do. Okay, so that's office. So there's, and then of course multifamily. Multifamily is apartment complexes. Those are easy because who buys apartment complexes? People already own apartment complexes. Who buys apartment complexes? People that own a lot of residential real estate, and they're too tired of bouncing all around to all their different rentals. So then you talk to them about a plan. You know what the plan is? The plan is you sell all your rentals, get that money, and buy apartment complexes, so all your money is in one area instead of you bouncing around doing service on all these other properties. Make sense? Because the investors that own 5 or 10 or 15 residential rentals, eventually that gets old. And pretty soon you see them upgrading. I remember I worked with this client who was the nail salon owner. Man, this guy in the course of 3 or 4 or 5 years bought dozens of properties from me. And then pretty soon, when the market got to the peak, we sold them all, and he took all that money and put it into an apartment complex. Because he's too busy dealing with different tenants. You know, one apartment complex, you hire one property manager, and they can just take care of it all, right there on the spot. You understand? So that's the thing, is that, so one of the things that we're going to do later is that everyone's going to stand up, and we're going to say, hey, if you're interested in land, meet over here. If you're interested in retail, meet here. And then what I'll have you guys start doing is after class. See, I'll tell you something. When you take a commercial training, you know, it's funny because there's one of my past students, they're offering a commercial training class where you go there for I think a week, and the class is $32,000 for the class, and people pay it. It's like that crazy investment type of course they used to have a long time ago called Nouveau Reach, right? It was some crazy investment course to get you to become a real estate investor that cost like $20,000 for this class, okay? I was thinking, man, you should just go work with one of my agents. We teach you more than that, for free. So the thing is that, you didn't have to pay anything for this class. You just have to be part of the company to take this class. And I think this class is better than a $30-something thousand class that you're there for a week. But after learning all you learned, it's easy for you to go on with your life next week after your final. See, that's the thing, okay? Is that it's easy for you to go on with your life. Okay? The key is today, I want everyone to make a decision. And that decision hopefully will be, I'm tired of going on with my life and I want to thrive. I want to be able to do something where I'm bringing in $400,000 or $500,000 every year consistently for the rest of my life, or as long as I want to do this business. And the longer term plan is eventually I'm going to be like Ethan Conrad. I'm going to get so good at finding deals for my clients that eventually I'm going to pick up a couple for myself. That as I'm finding these deals and I become an expert at being able to identify the best deals, that one day I'm going to identify a deal that's too good to be true and I'm going to buy it myself. How would you like it if one day you found a property for $1 million that you could turn around and sell for $5 million? Wouldn't it kickstart your investment career? You know that a lot of investors have found those deals. There's a lot of very bad business people that are multimillionaires now because of being around this industry. You just bump into deals. You guys understand that? Let me ask you something. Do you not understand that if you are in the watch business, one of my buddies was at a watch show, and when he was at the watch show, someone had a whole, collection of watches, and the guy selling the watch did not know the value of one of these watches that they had, because they, sometimes they buy them in in stockpiles. They come from freaking, from warehouses and storage places where people die and abandon them, right? So this guy, he bought a storage unit that had all these watches, and he took it to this watch show to try to sell. But he had no idea that one of those watches is worth $1 million. Guy picked it up for $50. So how much you want? $50. Pick whatever you want. Okay, I want that one. Turn around and sell it for $1 million. You see those pawn shows, right? On that pawn show, one person found a coin at the flea market. Paid $2 for it. Sold it to the pawn guys for $100,000, who bought it for $100,000, turned around and sold it for $300,000. You guys understand that? When you're in the watch industry, there will be a day where someone comes in and gives you a deal of a lifetime. When you're in the car industry, one day someone's going to be in bad shape, they need the money, and they're going to sell you a car for a great deal. One day, when you're in real estate, okay, especially when you're in commercial real estate and land, there'll be a day where a deal of a lifetime hits you right in the face. And you want to be at that point in your life where you know what a good deal looks like. Does that make sense? You want to be at that point in your life where you go, I've been finding my clients deals for the last 4 or 5 years. And all of a sudden, I saw this deal of a lifetime hit me in the nose. I don't have the money at that point in time, but you know what I do have? I know it's a deal of a century, so instead of giving it to one of my clients, I'm just going to ask one of my clients to go in halves with me or something. Because this is the deal of a lifetime. I'm not going to work for 3% on this deal. This is a deal where I want all in on myself too. I want in on this deal. And whatever I need to gather up someone, I'm going to take an equity line from my home. I'm going to buy this deal because I've spent the last 5-6 years looking for deals for my clients, and they were all good deals. But this is not a good deal. This is a fantastic deal, and I'm going to be the one that's going to buy this deal for myself. Does that make sense? See, so when you're in commercial real estate, you know what you're going to find is you're going to. So one of the most important things that you're going to learn how to do is you're going to learn how to find deals. Make sense? So what we're going to do, and I don't know how long your group will be able to maintain together. If anything, you start making new friends, possibly. But what I want is, in a while here, we're gonna break you guys into groups, and once you're broken into groups, okay, you know, hopefully your group will meet once a week, okay, or once every other week, going forward, and hopefully you guys will motivate each other to sort of do something in the industry. Your group will start out with 7-8 people, and in a year it might be just 2 of you. That's how groups work. Does it make sense? Right? The group, everyone's excited, and you start having meetings, and pretty soon, you know, first meeting, all 8 people show up, and then the second meeting, you know, 7 people show up, and the third meeting, 6 people show up, and then you sort of hold tight at 6 or 5 for like 5-6 months, and then someone else drops out. It's called life. You don't think Chris Campbell had a different team when he first started in real estate? And that team looks significantly different now? But he's always been Chris Campbell? Does it make sense? John Schultz, you don't think John Schultz had a different team when he first started, when he was brand spanking new, wet behind the ears, and now 30 years after, he's like the Superman for commercial offices here in town, that his team has changed, right? But he hasn't changed. So let me ask you, are you going to be the Superman 10, 15 years down the line? It's up to you. I know this room can't all have Superman and Superwomen. Right? It's a numbers game. So you just have to decide if you're going to be the Superman, if you're going to be Ethan Conrad, you know, if that's your goal and you're going to be Ethan Conrad 20 years from now, then you be the Ethan Conrad 20 years from now who own, you know, billions and billions of dollars in real estate. Billions and billions. Not millions and millions, but billions and billions. So are you going to be? Who do you want to be? So that's one of the things that about success is that you have to decide who do you want to be. And what do you want to make of this? Does it make sense? We are in America, land of opportunity. You create your own luck and your own wealth. It's up to you if you want it or not. Does it make sense? Okay, it's up to you. All right? So, I'm going to pass something out. I want you to put a bug in your ear. Put a little seed in your brain. What type of real estate you want to do? Then what I'm going to do is in a little bit here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to assign you a little bit of a project, okay? I'm going to assign you a little bit of a project that talks about that gets you sort of going towards that direction, okay? And you guys could work as a group and hopefully pick up some deals, all right? Pick up some deals. Now, so I'm going to do 2 things. I'm trying to multitask here because we only have 2 hours, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is, this is just for your knowledge. I am going to ask you a couple of these things on your exam, but here, just go ahead and pass these out. What it is a due diligence checklist, okay? It's good for you to have if you ever have transactions. If you ever have transactions, you missed the whole area here. Yeah, right here.
Oh, you go?
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, and then just pass it down. No, don't pass them one at a time. Just go down and just you know. Okay.
Are we allowed to do intern for this team when you broken team, you end up so you like the industrial, you find that there might be more office. Are you allowed to?
Yeah, you can switch teams as much as you want. Okay. See if you like something. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So don't read through that right now. What I did is this is a whole good detailed reading on due diligence. The reason why this is important is that due diligence is one of the most important things that you need your client and your client to do whenever you're in a transaction. Okay? Due diligence is very important, and so to make sure we have that sign-in sheet, okay, going around. Okay? Due diligence is during the period that the buyer buys something and they're deciding on if it makes sense or not. Okay? Because we're in an industry, see, it's easy to make sense of a home. Home big enough, it's in the right school district, you know, is it functional, is it affordable for your client? Then they're happy because people know homes. But your investor may not know land. For example, we're in a deal right now where a client is deciding on if the land is worth it to buy. So I mean, what do we need to do? We need to make sure that, you know, talk to the city to make sure it can be entitled. You make sure you talk to the engineers to make sure it can be drawn out. Make sure you talk to the developers and the contractors to make sure that you know how much it costs to build. So there's all these things in due diligence that's important. Okay, all right. So this is a due diligence checklist that I'm passing out to everyone. Okay, that's your weekend reading. Okay, I'm gonna jump into. Today's sort of fun because I'm going to jump into CoStar and some LoopNet today, okay? Before we start breaking up into groups. All right. So, all right. So, people ask me, when you first sort of get started in commercial real estate, there's 2 sites for you to learn, okay? One of the sites I need you to learn, like the back of your hand, is how to use LoopNet. Okay, I want you to be able to learn how to use LoopNet. So, if you're looking for a retail center in Sacramento, these are all the retail centers. They're on LoopNet. But at the same time, I'm going to open up CoStar. Okay. CoStar owns LoopNet. Okay. CoStar, I have to have my phone, and they have to actually verify that I'm me in order to go into CoStar. And CoStar is expensive. Okay? All right, CoStar is expensive. But you get quite a bit from LoopNet. So right now I'm going to show you the difference between the two, okay? So I'll also look out for sale, retail, okay, retail. Okay. All right. So in the same general vicinity, okay, same general vicinity, on LoopNet, these are the properties that we were able to find on LoopNet. Okay, these are the properties we were able to find on LoopNet. These are the properties we were able to find on CoStar. All right, so if you look at it, it's around double, okay? Okay, so I mean, look, I did the same exact search. Okay, this is LoopNet. Okay. This is LoopNet. This is CoStar.
Are these active listings?
Active.
Can we look hospitality?
No, not this minute, okay? So this is LoopNet, this is CoStar. Okay? So, you know, estimate in here, I could see maybe 40 properties. Right? About right? Mm-hmm. Yes? Over in here, I see around 70 or 80. Well, actually 180 here. Exactly, 180. I definitely don't see 180 red squares here. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. So CoStar generally will have, because why? Because all the big companies and the real serious ones, they'll put on CoStar. Like LoopNet, if it's on LoopNet, it's on CoStar. But if it's on CoStar, not necessarily it's on LoopNet. That make sense? And when you're on LoopNet, there's some listings that are actually called premium listings that you won't be able to see unless you're a premium account member. So there's listings where people, okay, and then here's the reason why. And then tell me, why is it that some listings on LoopNet are made as premium only members can see, whereas some are for everyone to see? Why is that?
Been on the market for a while.
Reason why is the major brokers and experts don't want the general public calling them. You understand? You know, can you imagine how many looky-loos call? And if you're CB Richard Ellis guys, and man, I don't want anyone calling me but brokers. You know what I'm saying? Who are serious. You think Chris Campbell wants everyone and their mother to call him? No. Does that make sense? So some of them, they'll put the listing on LoopNet as a premium listing that only premium members can see, because they know those guys are normally agents and they're normally more serious or investors. And then some are just there for the general public. But I want everyone to learn how to use LoopNet, because LoopNet is owned by CoStar. See, it's the same logo. See, CoStar has a blue logo, LoopNet has a red one, okay? So CoStar owns LoopNet. So I want everyone to get used to LoopNet, okay? So let's look at a property on LoopNet, okay? So we'll just take a property here. Here's 1509, 1509, 1517, okay? This is LoopNet, okay? In LoopNet, this is what you could find, okay? In LoopNet, you know, you have a brochure of the building, okay? The name of the agents, Bacon Commercial Real Estate, okay? You have a little bit of information on the building that's being sold, okay? On CoStar, let me go ahead and pull up the same building here. So 1509, 1509. So I found the same exact property on CoStar. Okay? On CoStar, see, I found the same exact property in CoStar, but I will have 10 times the information. So LoopNet gave me the general information, okay, about the property, the information I need, okay, who to contact, some general information and demographics, you know, household income, age distribution, like the age of the people in the community. Because why does household income and age of the community, why does that matter?
This is business, you know, to see like.
Yeah, because different types of age groups like different types of businesses, different type of income classes. Like if you're in an area where the general income is, you know, upper high end, then if you open up an upper high end store, it might do well. Imagine opening up a Chanel in the middle of the hood. How do you think how well do you think that business will do? You know what I'm saying? Right? But then imagine opening up a dollar store in the middle of Bel Air. How would that do? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Who opens up a Costco supercenter in a community that has 700 people total in the hills? You think Costco will open up a Costco supercenter in an area that has 800 people? If that's the case, they have 400 employees for the 800 people. Does that make sense? Everyone working for that Costco lives there. So that's why you have demographics. But in CoStar, we have the same exact listing, but when we click on demographics, we get all types of demographics. We get all types of analytics. Okay? We get all types of tenant information. You know, I have all who the tenants are. I have all types of, how much this property was sold in the past. It was sold, I have all the comps of the nearby properties. All the comps will have similar star ratings on CoStar. Does that make sense? So instead of, I have a full lease analysis. So CoStar has probably 50 times more information on one property than you would find on LoopNet. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So CoStar is the professional version. It's the true professional version. So I have CoStar here, so that's why I'm showing you both. But I want to sort of show you the difference between the two. When you're first getting started in the business, you don't need to have access to CoStar just yet, okay? If you need help, I can just pull something in and send it to you. Just like I was helping one of our agents today, I just went, pulled it up, I sent it to you. Make sense? Once you get doing this full time and you're on CoStar every single day, then I'm not going to pull stuff for you every single day. And then you get access yourself, okay? But getting to know LoopNet gets you to know, what's out there, and it gets you started, okay? So, so I'll give you an example. I'll just play around in CoStar so you can see what it looks like here. So let's say if you have a client and your client's interested, okay? So in CoStar, I'll walk you through it a little bit, give you a treat here. When you're in CoStar, there's an area, and for example, LoopNet only has a fraction of the properties that are on CoStar, leasing and sales. But what makes CoStar very powerful? Okay, what makes CoStar very powerful is that CoStar has information on everything. So I'm talking about, when I say everything, everything means every single commercial property on the market or not on the market. Does that make sense? So it has the general, all properties in Sacramento. The names of all the owners, any of the tenants, any shopping center, regardless on market or off market. So 10, 15, 20,000 commercial properties here has information on all of it. Make sense? Once you're in your little group and you decide, hey Robert, we're gonna farm this area, then I can pull up every owner in that area on an Excel spreadsheet, and you can sit there and mark it to all the owners in one area if you want. But I will not do it for any one of you. Does it make sense? Because sometimes you're just wasting my time. No, seriously. You can't waste my time. Don't ask me for something you're never going to use. Does that make sense? Right? Trust me, how many people you think have grand ideas, waste a lot of people's time, and never do it? You think that happens? Yeah, it happens all the time. Make sense? It's funny because I have people that will literally take 3 hours of Juden's time. I've had new agents take 3 hours of his time, taking him away from everyone else for 3 hours, learning how to set up everything. And pretty soon, after 2 or 3 weeks, they say, I don't want to do real estate anymore. All the time, It's like, I don't feel like doing real estate anymore. I was just doing it for fun anyways. Like, stop wasting people's time, okay? If you're going to do it, do it. Don't do it, don't do it. But I can do we can search all the properties for you, all the owners, but if we give you a list, then you got to do it. As a group, make the calls, right? Take that great, valuable information. So let's look at sales here. So there's leases, sales. So these are all the properties these are all the properties, okay? Our office is right here, within 1 or 2 miles of where we're sitting right now that are for sale. So you tell me there's not properties out there for sale. That make sense? These are all the properties within 1 mile or 2 of us right now, okay, they're for sale. So when I go in here and I say, well, let's look at all the retail that's for sale. These are all the shopping centers. So I'll take Sacramento right here. From the middle of Sacramento up to McClellan, if I shrink it even more here, okay, look at the hubs here. Here's Roseville, Citrus Heights, Rancho Cordova, Elk Grove, Florin, Middle Sacramento, Arden area. These are all the properties that are for sale that are retail. Imagine you do your research, and this is just retail. You do your research, you find the best 10 shopping centers that you think make the most sense for someone to buy. You don't think you could find one person to buy what you think is the 10 best shopping centers in Sacramento for sale? You see, because I'm going to tell you something, okay? People with money do not wake up in the morning looking to buy a shopping center. But if you find the person with money and you tell them about this great shopping center, they could be a worldly rich doctor that has been sitting on money for years. They could be, an old retired landowner that always wanted to sell their land and put money into something that produces income. There's plenty of people out there that have money. It could be an investment group in New York, a hedge fund in New York, that doesn't have eyes in every single city in America. And this hedge fund is looking for a great shopping center opportunity. And you found the shopping center opportunity here, and you reached out to the group in New York to buy it, and they said, "Man, you found us a great deal. Find us 10 more." You guys understand that? You see, because people with money don't wake up in the morning looking for that shopping center. You got to bring it to them. You understand? You got to bring the deal to them. So what better way to start than say, "Hey, retail group, these are all the shopping centers that are available. Can you break down and research 182 shopping centers?" Maybe not. So then let's go with shopping centers, because you might have a client that wants to buy a shopping center, and the shopping center is between 10,000 square feet and 40,000 square feet. Okay, so now we've narrowed it down like in MLS. These are the shopping centers between 10 and 40,000 square feet. Okay, you want to narrow it down by price, $2 million to $8 million. Okay? Okay, so these are all the shopping centers between $2 million and $8 million. Okay? All right, let's go cap rate. Let's go 5 cap all the way to 8 cap, 9 cap. Okay, so these are all the ones that are offering 5 to 9 caps. If you want to, want a great investment, let's go 7 to 9 cap. Only in Elk Grove are we seeing some shopping centers are at 8, 7 to 9 cap. So there's 2 shopping centers are offering a 7 to 9 cap. Oh, this happens to be one of them. Let's take a look. This is a 7 cap shopping center. Okay, in Elk Grove, there's only 2 like that. Okay, so let's look at this shopping center. Oh, Sean, he's my good friend, actually. Sean Morrow. He's my good friend. I could pick up the phone and call Sean. Look, $250,000 price reduction. Let's see who's in there here. Okay, Lumber Liquidators is in there. Oh, okay, it's a little shopping center. It's a little shopping center there. Okay. What?
No franchise?
Mm-mm.
What is the price for that?
What?
What is the price?
6.4 million, but it's offering a 7 cap. I know Sean, they'll wheel and deal. Okay, this is a 36,000 square foot shopping center. It has, you look at the pictures, it has Baskin Robbins, which is not bad, but Baskin Robbins is a little bit of a struggling franchise right now. Has a dry cleaner in there, a nail salon in there. Okay, has a Harbor Freight. Okay, has Lumber Liquidators in there. Has a little round table. So it's sort of an aged shopping center a little bit aged. I don't know how the leases look. Okay. I don't really know how the leases look, but they look. It looks okay. Let's see what else is out there. Okay, so that's retail. You see, if I want to go industrial, you'll see that all the industrial pockets here, right off Floor and Perkins is a bunch of industrial, right? Floor and Perkins, Watt Avenue, you have a whole load of industrial here. West Sacramento has a lot of industrial. Okay, you have some industrial up here along like North Highlands and so forth. So let's say if you're looking for an industrial building, let's go 40,000 square feet to on above. These are all the industrial shopping centers that are at least 40,000 square feet. Okay, let's say your client only wants to spend $12 million. Okay? Okay, well, most everything is below 12 million. Let's say your client only has $6 million with at least 40,000 square feet. Oh, well, okay, here. So you say, okay, well, right here is, here's a warehouse, right here, there's oh, this is a proposed, okay. So if I go and view I go here and I view all the properties are available, I can scroll down, there's one on Dwight, there's one on Power Inn. Okay, this is part of portfolio sale, so they want to sell two. All right, so these guys want to sell 2 buildings here. I could click on a button and I can pull up the marketing brochure. Okay, so this is a truck accessory. Okay, these are the 2 properties. They want to sell. One's more like bare land. One has a building. Okay, here's the aerial for it.
Robert.
Yeah.
And it's Newmark Knight Frank, but we're Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, so we're a little bit more like out there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, Berkshire Hathaway is the number 2 or 3 name in the world at any given time. Okay, so let's see. Where's that property that was proposed? Let me see. Proposed. Is that Elder Creek? No. Let's see. Proposed is something that they're building. So here, look. Okay. So when I go to proposed and I look at a shopping center, this is the shopping center on Elder Creek that is in the drawing phase. Okay? This is in the drawing phase. Okay? It's a 2000 fourth quarter completion. So this is not started, it's not under construction yet. Okay, but it's a planned development on Elder Creek for 2020 fourth quarter. So talking about the September, the October, November, December months. Okay, they're looking to build a 55,000 square foot location. See, so like for example, the good thing about these types of projects, the good thing about these types of projects, if you look at, for example, office. If we go to office, you see a lot of these types of deals. So you go to office. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to these types of, you literally have all types of possibilities in finding deals. So let's say if I look at for sale and I look at under construction, let's see, proposed. So they have, and I look at proposed. So let's say that's proposed office. Oh wow, there's only, so I'm just showing you, so look. Okay, so they're building these buildings here. They're building these buildings. Okay, it's in Old Placerville Road. It's there. So they're proposing building these lots and these buildings. These are the sites. Right now there's nothing, but check this out. Mather Air Force Base is here. This is the site, and then there's all these other pieces that are for sale. So the person that bought this was the land developer. Remember I talked to you about at the very beginning, the person that bought this, bought a big piece of land, and then they start cutting it up, and now they're selling it in pieces. And these 3 are sold. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are still available. So it's like once this goes, someone's probably going to buy this piece, and someone's going to buy this piece, and then they're probably going to break it up, and they're going to sell them in lots like this. You see? So there's all types of stuff. So this is a whole new world. But the great thing about this world is you're playing this game at a very high level. Does that make sense? In real estate, in residential real estate, it's just a house. Play that game. It's easy to play, okay? And you continue to do it. Get your 1 or 2 deals every month. You continue to do it, no problem. But when you play this game, you become very good, very smart, okay? But this game, so you know, is all in the millions. People don't play this game to specialize in $200,000 properties, okay? This game is all in the millions, okay? It's all in the millions, all right? Whether it be land and cutting up land, okay? Whether it be gas stations, whether it be, and gas stations like more specialties, whether it be hotels, hospitality, thank you, then you're playing this game at a high level. So when you're playing this game but believe it or not, when you play this game at a high level, okay, when you play this game at a high level, you know, the people you work with are actually pretty cool. You know, because there's a lot fewer, just so you know, there's a lot fewer people that are in the commercial game than the residential game. In the residential game, you're playing against 11,000 people. 15,000 people just in this vicinity. Okay? And in this game called residential, you deal with people who are good to deal with, but you deal with a lot of people who are very difficult to deal with. And you deal with people who are very new. Make sense? And not very experienced. So there's a lot of room for mistake in the residential industry. That's why there's so many laws that are made to protect consumers, right? Because there's a lot of part-time, unexperienced people running around. But in commercial, you don't deal with that too much. Number one, in commercial, very hard to get into the game. If you want, go interview with CB Richard Ellis. See how many years it takes you to do your first transaction. Go interview, see if they hire you. Okay? I was a broker. I was a broker with 150 agents on my team. And when I interviewed with them a long time ago, they wanted me to work in file clerk first. I said, wait, I'm a broker with 150 agents. I have all these type of leads. And you want me to do what? Well, first few years, you have to work as, you know. No. But I did become broker with CB, Coldwell Banker Commercial. But the thing is that, good luck. Good luck. Do you want to get into CB Richard Ellis and take over Chris Campbell's market? Yeah, I want to work retail in Laguna for CB Richard Ellis. They slap you, okay? Are you crazy? And, you know, Colliers, Cushman, you know, you can't get in. But the problem is, here's the problem. You can't get into those companies, but if you're a no-name company, you never get a deal. If you are nobody, you'll never get a deal. So you walk up to a owner of a $30 million shopping center. They ask you, who are you? You are Lee Wong. I'm with Lee Wong Commercial Real Estate, and we have 2 agents, and I've never done a deal before. My broker hasn't either. You know, and I want you to give me your listing for $35 million. They'll slap you too, you know. But see, we're fortunate here. The reason why you're fortunate here, think business, is that we are the commercial division of Berkshire Hathaway, and we were for this area, and we are the first ones. That means that when you walk out and represent Berkshire Hathaway for commercial real estate, it'll be the first time everyone's seen it here in Sacramento. It's like Tesla being opened in Dubai for the very first time. They've seen Mercedes, they've seen BMW, they've seen Audi, but they've never seen Tesla before. Will it take some time to get going? Yeah, because they've heard about Tesla. Everyone's heard about Berkshire Hathaway, but they don't know Tesla yet. Your job is to know Tesla. My fear is that you go out there and make us all look bad. You understand? Because one bad apple might ruin everything for all of the rest of us. So if you're going to do this, take it seriously. Does it make sense? If you're going to do it, take it seriously. Because one bad apple, one bad phone call, one bad deal where your client's a looky-loo, you send out an LOI that's an idiotic LOI, and you happen to be dealing, because in commercial real estate, there's only a few people you're ever going to deal with. When I look at all this stuff, I know all the people in there. I don't know all the residential people out there, but the commercial people, I know them. So there's only a few people you'll ever do a deal with. And so imagine picking the phone and having to call Chris Campbell about one of his listings. If you sound like a fool, you'll know it in a second. Does that make sense? You'll know it in a second. And he'll say, yeah, I don't work with someone who's new. You know, it's like, you know, have your broker call me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, have Robert call me. You know, and then you'll find out right away. Oh man, I sound pretty silly here. You know, does it make sense? So that's why I want you to be good before you actually go out there and do it. Okay? So, but that's. So I hope I'm not scaring you, but I want you to share with you how potentially amazing being able to be the Berkshire Hathaway person for retail in Sacramento. Does that make sense? Because that position is like being Tesla in Dubai. I think a lot of people will buy it. It's like being in a high-end shopping center and having the rights to Louis Vuitton and opening up in that center. You know it's going to eventually be successful. Right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Because the name sells itself. Berkshire Hathaway, the name sells itself. All right? Especially for high-end commercial. Sells itself. It's just now you got to be the person behind it that they trust. You know, it's like, you know, you could go to Chanel, but you look like a bum, then they won't buy that Chanel purse from you. They'll go to another salesperson and say, I'm surprised. I went to the Chanel store or the Louis Vuitton store. I went to the Mercedes dealership, and the guy at the salesperson at Mercedes didn't know what they're talking about. I'm surprised because Mercedes is such a reputable brand. Why would they have that salesperson not have a clue what they're saying? Right? So all of a sudden, you're representing this brand. You walk into a deal on a commercial $10 million shopping center, and you have no clue. So then, you know what they come out of their mouth? I'm very surprised. Berkshire Hathaway is such a good brand, but that agent had no clue. And that's the last thing we want to come out of people's mouth. Does it make sense? So that's why on the first few deals, I just do them with you. You see? Then I don't have to worry about you looking really bad. Because I'm there with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm there with you. You know, I'll call that agent and tell them. You know, I'll call the agent, talk to them first. Hey, Chris. And then he'll say, hey, Robert, been a while. You know what I'm saying? Or, hey, Sean. Right? You see? Okay.
Can you pull up multifamily?
All right. Let me pull up for you, and then let me move on. Okay. What time is it right now? Okay, so we have some time. Okay. So for sale. Let's see, multifamily here in Sacramento. These are all the multifamily properties available in Sacramento. Not bad, right? But you know, but there's not a lot of multifamily that are very big. So if I go, you know, more than 20 units, there's only a few. Okay? If you go more than 40 units, there's even fewer, obviously. So like these are all the multifamily that's over 40 units. But if I look at them, okay, these are the ones that are available. Let's see. So here's one of them that are available right here. Okay, so I have viewed some details on this one. Okay, so this one's offering a 4 cap. Very low. Very low 4 cap. Okay, these are Cobble Creek Apartments, 2-story garden-style complex, built in '87. You know, there's some updates on the property. Oh man, 4 cap though. That's a toughie. Okay, there's 48 units, asking $8.4 million. They're selling on average $175,000 a unit. The average unit square feet is around 700 square feet. You know, the deal that we lost, man, my client, dude, we had the best deal, but they sat on their hands. So crazy. It was a deal. We made an offer. We got a counter offer. It was a deal where, okay, so they're asking $2.4 million for this piece of land on a project that could do 120 units, okay? and the land was asking 2.4 million, so we offered 2. They countered back at 2.4. But I said I think 2.4 is a good deal, and there were multiple people interested. When they countered, we should have just taken the counter and run with it, you know, because we had 120 days to cancel. Get into contract first, and then once it's in contract, you have 120 days. If you find out it's not worth it, then cancel, get your money back. Okay? But they were sitting on their hands, man, putting all crazy addendums together. It was like, so then we did a little bit extra homework. Man, extra homework. The city owned the property right next door that was 2.5 acres, and the city really wants multifamily. So they said, hey, if you guys turn it into low-income housing, and only like 40% of it has to be low-income housing, the other 60% can be normal housing. We'll give you all the benefits, plus we'll give you the 2-acre piece of land right next to us for free. So and they wanted higher density. So your 120 unit project now, because see, the land that you bought, we were only able to build on like 4.5 acres of it, 5 acres of it. The other 2 acres was sort of landlocked. It was landlocked by what? The government's 2 acres, you know? And all of a sudden, the government said you could have the 2 acres. So all of a sudden, the 2 acres that we couldn't use now could be used because we had another 2.5 acres in the smack dab in between that we get for free. So now you have 10 acres. 10 acres being able to do like 20 some homes. It's 20 homes, but you have a variance. So you can do up to 25 actually if you really squeezed it in. So a 120 home project could be a 200 home project. Plus, you get government subsidy for it. Like every property you build, every unit you build has an impact fee. Impact fees could be a lot because like every family you bring into a neighborhood, it impacts the school district, it impacts the fire department, it impacts they have to have more room in their school, they have to have more police to police the area, they have to have more firefighters to fight just in case of emergency, because firefighters don't come out just because of fire, they come out for all types of reasons, right? So every property that's added has impact fees, and the city was gonna like either waive or reduce those to nothing. So that's few million dollars right there. By the time we found out, someone else went and bought it. So I told you. Now they want to be back up. I said, I don't want to work with you anymore. You just delay. It's like, man. It's like, can't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You do it. Man, you have 100-day free look. You guys understand that word? If it's remotely even close to something you like, just get it tied up. You have 120 days to free look. Does it make sense to call it a free look period? Due diligence period.
Education from free time.
It's like, man.
So
they end up getting a home run, and the client passed up on a home run. It was more than a home run. It became like deal of the century. Passed up on it. $1 billion company bought the project. $1 billion company bought the project. You know what I'm saying? They took it like that. It's like, man. See? So, because guess what? I predict, and I've even talked to a builder already. We were at close to 200 units, building at around 130,000 a unit. But the units that we were building were 1,300 square foot units. They're selling 730 square foot units that are old for 175,000 a unit. Now, obviously, I don't think they're going to get it, but I think they might get 165 or 160. We're building 13 brand new 1,300 square foot units built out with land for around $125,000 to $130,000. Those units are easily worth like $230,000. $100,000 a unit in profit over 200 units is $20 million they could have made on that deal on a bad day, okay? But they just slow. Should have just tied it up. Accept the counter. Oh no, I have to have attorney look at it. Man, we have 120 days of free look. Yeah, you look for 120 days. No, that's it. Gobbled it up. That's it. Done. Government give you free land, all these concessions. Man.
Here's your sign.
It's like, okay, I don't know how to work with you guys. It's like, man, go that hard to find you a great deal. You know what I'm saying? You see? So when you're in the business, if you know how to find a good deal, then man, you know. And on a deal like this, with those type of numbers and with those type of concessions from the government, you could have gone in there, maybe even put 20% into it. Now, a bank probably would take the deal. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be able to go into this deal with very little of your own money. You know.
Can I look at hospitality business?
Okay. So, but you sort of see, okay, what I'm talking about here. There's a lot of potential. Here's hospitality. It's almost non-existent. Okay, it's still that same property we're always looking at. Okay.
We can look at in yellow county too.
Yeah, YOLO, right here. YOLO way down here, Yuba City. Nothing. Yeah, there's this. I mean, let me see, hospitality in all of Northern California. Well, there's some. You know, there's some in Santa Rosa, some in San Francisco. So like I said, I could look anywhere. See, you know, that's hospitality.
There is one in Elk Grove?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is the same one.
Yeah, it's not really Elk Grove, Sacramento. Okay, 9.4 million, 75,000 a room. It's the Wood Spring Suites here in La Mancha, right here. Is that hotel right there next to DMV? Okay,
It is in contract, right?
it's in contract. It's a
Full price.
full price. You see. So the thing is, I mean, what does that mean? It means that if you just go to all the hospitality, see if anyone wants to sell. Right? See if anyone wants to sell. Right now, not much available. Okay. Okay. So guys, we are in a real industry here. I just happen to be in the game every day. Okay? I'm working on things. I'm in the game every day. So, because I work on all. You know, I work on all the deals in the company because if it's commercial, everyone goes through me. So I review everything, and most of the time I'm working on it with you. So we're in it every day, and so you're in good hands if you want to do this business, but just take it serious, okay? You guys excited about this industry a little bit?
Very.
Okay, but you know, it takes time. You got to invest a good year, 2, 3 years to learning about the industry, right? Getting to know it, you know, getting to know it, all right? And when I know that you're starting to work this industry, if potential clients come in, I'll refer your group the deal, you know, and you guys can work it and get experience working it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll refer your group a deal. Matter of fact, I have a deal to refer a group. I'm not gonna say what type of group yet, but I have a deal. They need me to help them, but I just don't have the time. You know, this group is a little bit tire kickers. They're serious. There are 4 doctors that want to open up a like a kids, indoor playground type deal. You know what I'm saying? They want to lease around 12,000 square feet, but man, they're sort of on the inexperienced side. So I'm gonna have to have a group help them. You know, I don't have the time anymore. You know, I've helped them enough. I've showed them a few. They got sort of close. They work with the engineer already, but they're still looking. They still haven't really found a place yet, and I don't have the time. So I'll have one of you guys work with one of your groups, work with them, and we'll split it. Okay? All right. So now that you sort of have an idea of the industries and how CoStar sort of works, okay? I will let your group play around with CoStar as much as you want. When you come in, I'll sit with you, and I'll have you play around a little bit. That make sense? Get experience. And then maybe, as a group, you guys can get your own account and all chip in. You know, we get it at a discount of $350 a month, but if your group has 5 people, I think it's more affordable if each of you just pay $60, and then you all have access. You know, like, you're not supposed to share them, so one person will be the main account holder, and then once you guys get together, you can look at it and so forth. Okay? Make sense? All right. So, but yes.
What if you choose one like niche and then you decide?
No, you can change as much as you want. Because sometimes you don't like it. Some of you won't like land. You know what I'm saying? Some of you are part of a group. I don't want to have retail and have the half of the room in retail. Let's try to balance things out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually, just you say, hey, I want to try. And then here's the thing with everyone. We're all business professionals here. Okay? Number one, work as a team. Number two, don't feel bad if one person wants to try something else. You might want to try something else. Move around and work around and see what you guys want to try. You know what I'm saying? Start learning the different industries. Multifamily is one industry. Hotel, hospitality is one industry. Land is one industry. Retail is one industry. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
When how do you know it's a good deal by the cap rate, the higher the better?
10,000 things can make something a good deal. Okay? There's a lot of things that can make something a good deal. A cap rate is a good deal when you're getting income looking right at your face. But the cap rate might be high because the tenants suck. Does that make sense? So that's why the cap rate's so high.
So you want low cap rate or?
No. Everything. Sometimes the cap rate is decent, but that's because the property is a fixer-upper. If you were to fix it up, you could drive the cap rate sky high. You see? Sometimes they're just asking too much money. It's not a good deal. You guys understand? Okay, so let's do this. All right? I sort of want to get an idea of who's going to do what. So they don't all get up yet, okay? All right, but right here, we're going to have our retail group. Right here, retail. Okay. Right next to retail, we'll have land. We'll have land. Behind retail, we'll have office. Okay. Behind land, we'll have multifamily. Okay. We'll have multifamily. All right. Now, see, look, it even breaks up into all the industries. Okay. So on this side is retail, office, and an industrial in the back. Retail, office, industrial, which is like sort of the general, types of real estate, sales, leasing. Okay, retail, office, industrial on this side. This is more specialty a little bit. There's land, okay, and specialty is a little bit different. Okay, you can put land, all right, multifamily, and hospitality specialty, and we'll just stick to those 6 for now. Okay, because if you look at it, see, office, industrial, retail are the 3 ones that are on top. Okay, all right, so we'll just do those here. The other ones, don't worry about flex. Flex is when it's multi-use, okay? You'll have like for example, a flex is something like an area where it's retail on the bottom and people live upstairs. You know what I'm saying? That's a like flex building, okay? Or somewhere there's retail up front and the back is office or industrial. Those are like flex. Multifamily is apartment complexes. Hospitality are the hotels, motels. Specialty is like schools, churches. Believe it or not, there is a specialty for that. But we'll just all right. So sort of figure out a little bit what you want to do. Remember, you can change any time. But let's try to balance out the groups. Okay. So let's go. Get up and move to where you sort of want to be. Move to where you sort of want to be. Okay, land, retail, office, industrial. Okay, land, multifamily, specialty over there. It's up to you what you like doing. Land is right here. These 2 seats right here. Retail right here. Just find a spot and find a seat.
Thank you.
All right. right here. Remember, retail, office, industrial, land, multifamily, and specialty. Okay? For those of you who are at home, okay, who's hearing me, I will have one designated person from each group be the group contact person, and then I'm going to announce it up here. I'm going to write it on the board here. For the group contact person, go ahead and turn on the lights for me. Whoever can turn on the lights. Okay, and then you can contact them to find out about their meetings and so forth. Okay, so you're not left out. So you will not be left out. Okay. Okay. All right. So have a seat. Have a seat. All right. So. All right. So. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. So raise your hand if you're retail. Raise your hand. Retail. 4 people for retail. Raise your hand if you're office. Raise your hand for office. 3 people for office. Raise your hand if you're industrial. Okay. All right. So it's 4 or 5 people for industrial. Raise your hand if you're land. All right. Around 9 people for land. Raise your hand if you're multifamily. Okay. Around 7 or 8 of you. So no one's specialty, right? And raise your hand if you're specialty.
Which one's
Okay.
the specialty?
1 person for specialty. Okay.
What is it?
Oh no, specialty and
Oh.
a little bit different type of. Oh no, specialty in hospitality.
Oh.
Specialty hospitality. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Well, no, gas station technically is retail.
Retail? Oh.
Technically, because gas stations, you know, you go into stores. You know what I'm saying? Gas stations, technically, it's a retail, but it's retail but for a gas station. You're selling something to the public. You understand?
But dealerships,
Huh?
dealerships,
What kind of dealerships?
cars.
Cars is actually considered retail as well. Okay, but it depends because you know, like sometimes it's warehouse too, because industrial, because it has service centers. You know what I'm saying? It has the service centers and they store, and so it's industrial as well. Okay. All right. So this is what, as a group, okay, we'll have you do first. 1 person in each group will be the designated, you know, the person to help with the communications and get your, and that person's going to be the person that will communicate with me. Okay? So 1 person in each group will be the person that will communicate with me. Okay? To set up times for me to sit down and get you on to whatever you need to get on to do some research, right? 1 person, all right? And that person, or persons, I don't care if it's more than 1 person, it's up to you, will also be responsible for communicating with the rest of the group on when, where to meet, okay? And remember, that land or retail might not be your thing. If it's not your thing, then just change, okay? Move to a different group, okay? All right? It's gonna change. It's gonna change, but at least you get a taste of it, all right? So for those of you, and in a minute here, I'm gonna let you talk. In a minute, for those of you who are online, obviously you can't be talking to the people sitting here. There's like 30, 40 people sitting here. I'm going to put the phone numbers down, just the name and cell phone for the person for each group, and then you can call them and then work out, just get onto the group, okay, and, on what you like, so you don't feel like you're missing out, okay? All right, so in a minute here, I'm going to have you do that. As a group, okay, you know, I'm one of those people that I don't like to micromanage. I sort of like you to figure out a lot of things on your own. I could tell you exactly what you need to do, but instead I just wanted you to figure out on your own, okay, what you want your group to be doing and doing together. But I'm gonna give you some hints, okay? You know, learning how to find the deal is probably the single most important thing that you would ever have to do in this industry, is learning how to find the deal, okay? when you're able to find a deal, you know, one of the things you do when you first start in this business is you got to get knowledgeable about product knowledge. Just from that little bit I shared with you regarding the apartment complex, right? Remember the little bit I shared with you guys? All of a sudden you saw that there's an apartment complex offering a 4 cap, selling 730 square foot units for $175,000. And you know that's what's out there. So if you ran into a like property offering an 8 cap, it's roughly about the same year, about the same neighborhood, and they're selling their units for $130,000, would it be a good deal? Yes or no? Yeah. Does it make sense? So because of that, one of the things that, so write this down for all the groups, is that you gotta know your product and know what a good deal is. Know what a good deal is cap rate wise. Know what a good deal is price per unit. You see how when we looked at the apartment complex, there are some very key features. Okay? So when you looked at multifamily, when I went in there and looked at multifamily, okay, there are some key features in the multifamily that were things that stood out, okay? Were things that stood out. So see, look, cap rate stood out as sort of low. Vacancy is only 2.9%. So vacancy, it's almost never vacant. There's probably, you know, a waiting list of people want to go into the area. No wonder the cap rate's so low. It's probably a very desirable area. If they're asking a 4 cap, it has to be the most desirable area. But then it's weird why CoStar put it only as a 2-star property. Okay? So when you're looking at that type of deal, what you want to do is schedule with me a time. Because normally when you schedule me a time, I would know, because if another group schedules me a time before you, then they have that time. Does that make sense? So schedule a time that works for you, works for me, to be able to go in and as a group come in and start doing some homework on properties. Make sense? And as a group, talk about them. So you're teaching each other, right? Because the first thing that we're going to do as groups is learn the business. If it's land, you just pull up all the land deals, okay? For example, I'll show you so since the land people are sitting here, you know.
We can't see.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. You know, for land deals, show you something. Whoops. Okay. So you know I'm not pulling your leg. This is the land deal I was talking about. That's a home run. See, the piece of land was 6 acres right here and roughly 2 acres right here, and it was locked right here in the middle. That was owned by the city. Okay? It was locked. So this couldn't be used for anything. But later on, city willing to give this land for free as long as you do affordable housing. And so it made this the cleanest piece of land available. They already had a proposed site plan, but this is just a proposed site plan. They already had an idea of how many units and how big each unit was supposed to be. They already had their parking ratios here. Here's the aerials. Here's the economic, all the demographics. So when you do land, okay, when you do land, that's what you do. You know, this guy is, Daniel Mueller is really, really cool. I mean, I've worked with him for years. When I call him, okay, first thing he says, how are you doing, Robert? It's not, who's this? We all know each other. So when I call, hey, Robert, He recognizes my phone, and when he called me, it says Daniel Mueller right there. But when you say, like, I mean, Daniel's with Century 21. It's not even a big brand. He's just one of it because he's been around for a while. He don't mind, you know. So he's with Century 21. It's not like he's with CB Richard Ellis or Cushman or Colliers. But when you look at Daniel Mueller, I'm really messing up his name.
But he always has 20, 30 listed.
Okay? He's with 7021. But anytime I pick him up, right now he has 76 listings. And 46 spaces. That's land. So he has 120 listings right now. By himself. You guys understand that? Can you imagine how much money you can make in this business? He has 120 listings by himself. And every time you call him, he pick up the phone. Okay? Just like when you call me. I have 300 agents. Every time you call me, do I pick up my phone? Yes or no? Do you ever, anyone in this room, ever have a hard time getting hold of me?
Yes.
You? Because you ask me crazy things.
Always.
And you don't know how to get a hold of me. You don't call me my cell. You email me only.
No, I call you.
No, I never avoid anyone's
I
call.
call Teresa and she answers the phone all the time, and then she calls you. Remember?
Oh, then you have Teresa's number.
I have your number,
But
you
you've
don't
never
answer it.
called me.
Yes.
No.
I call Teresa and Teresa says.
Then
"He's
you're the
here."
one and only. I'm ignoring you. That's why.
You've
That's
been
that.
ignoring me. Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, those are the types of deals that's the type of business you could be. So he has 100-something listings just by himself. Okay.
So he doesn't have a team?
No, of course he has a staff,
Oh, okay.
but he don't have any team. Actually, he works on his own
Oh, really?
by himself. He just yeah. Everything. No. Everything. He's the Mr. Everything. These are all his shopping centers, all his, apartment complexes, he does everything, He's a multi-talented person. All right? But that's basically how it works. Okay? That's basically how it works. And so one of the first things that every group needs to learn how to do is learn how to evaluate property. Okay? You need to learn how to evaluate property. Okay? You need to know what a good deal is. If you're land, learn what's out there in land. Okay? Because eventually what you're going to do is you're going to learn, okay, so phase one is you're going to learn something about real estate. Next, you're going to learn what's out there available. And then you're going to learn how to contact people where the properties are not available, and you're going to go and try to get listings. Okay? So you're going to approach and get clients in two ways. Way number one is that you're going to analyze what you think are the best deals out on the market, and you're going to try to find the people that would love to buy those deals, right? Remember, the key to making money is you're the person between a buyer and a seller, or a tenant and a landlord. You're that person in between, right? If you could find deals that are great deals, I think it would not be hard to find someone who wouldn't mind a great deal. Does that make sense? You guys get that? But your job as a group is to find out what the best deals is. Ethan Conrad, that's how it all started. Don't you want to start too, like that? That's how it all started. It's on his biography. If you went to Ethan Conrad's site, and I've been there, he writes that for a certain number of years, he was finding his clients the best deals. And pretty soon, he said, why don't I just take them for myself? So one of the most important things for you to learn is how to analyze a great deal. Okay? How to analyze a great deal. That's one of the most important things for you to learn, is how to analyze a great deal. You see? Okay? Now that you know how to analyze a great deal, the next step from that is you're going to learn how to take these deals to the right people, so how to find the right investors, right? Whether it be big time conduit financing or what have you, right? And then number three, after you find who those investors are, you're gonna find deals that no one knows about. Then you become king. You find deals that no one knows about. Example, in all of this area, there's only one hotel that has a full price offer on the other side of the street. But there's hotels everywhere. What if you found 5 more hotels that want to be sold and you took the listing for it? I don't think that you'd have a hard time finding 5 buyers. You understand that? So the next thing we're going to teach you how to do is locate all of the people who own those type of properties, whether it be shopping centers, land, okay, multifamily, and ask them if they want to sell. Let me ask you something. You talk to an owner of a 100-unit apartment complex, and you ask them if they want to sell, and they say, well, no, not yet. Is that a bad call or a good call?
Good.
Why?
Because he didn't say
At
no.
least they talk to you on the phone. And you put Berkshire Hathaway in their ear. What if you called 100? What if the multifamily group called 100 apartment complex owners, was able to meet with 20 of them, and was able to get 2 listings from it? Is it worth it?
Yes.
Big time, right? You see, that's what we're trying to do. So one of the steps is that everyone's going to get together, and then we're going to pull up lists of potential clients, and you're just going to call them, right? You get together and call them. Just go talk to them. It's like you'll all of a sudden talk to the owner of the Chevron station right here and say, hey, let's meet. Let's go over. We have some projects that we want to share with you. You think they're saying no? And all of a sudden now you know all these multimillionaires. You know that in this business, it's not necessarily about what you know, but more so about who you know. You guys understand that?
Yes.
How many multimillionaire, multifamily owners do you guys know? None, probably. Or 1 or 2. My goal in the next 6 months is you know 100 of them. Wouldn't that be great? Land people. Wouldn't it be great for you to know some multimillionaire farmers like Angelo Tsakopoulos that own all this land? And all of a sudden, you know all these farmers, and they own thousands of acres of land. And you get this phone call saying, hey, I want to see if my land is worth more than just the almond farm, or worth more than just grapes, or whatever it is. And then you start breaking it down. So as a group, 1 or 2 of you don't bombard the city of Lodi or Elk Grove, but 1 or 2 of you, all of a sudden, you go down and you meet with the city planner, and you understand the city plan. And you go, oh my God, this area is going to be a gold mine. Look, they're planning on building these major roads. You know that when you're in land, you sort of know up front, hey, these roads are coming up. Oh, they're expanding Grant Line. Oh man, they're taking East Stockton past this here. Well, when they think of bringing East Stockton 10 miles this way, everything on East Stockton generally is going to become commercial right next to the road. You guys understand that? So when you know land, you know, okay, follow this road. This road's going to be big. Everyone knows that Bradshaw eventually is going to be a big commercial center. So some people are very smart. They start buying all this land up on Bradshaw. Now they're becoming millionaires overnight. You understand that? It's like, man, how can you not guess that Elk Grove one day will be another community when Laguna's getting so full? Elk Grove Boulevard is going to be big. What if they expanded Jefferson Boulevard, right? Or they said, okay, we're going to take Southport. Even Southport goes, so it's like when you know that kind of stuff, like what's that? So when you understand land, making the money takes time. It takes years to entitle land. But man, the moment you change agricultural to residential, you're changing 10,000 an acre to 300,000 an acre. Like that. Does that make sense? You guys understand that? Multifamily right now is selling $345,000 an acre. Whereas a farm sells for $10,000 an acre. Can you imagine farmland is 10, 20,000 an acre, 30,000 an acre? Can you imagine buying something at 30,000 an acre and reselling it for 350,000 an acre? You understand? Well, that's the game we're in. If you're in that game, then start playing the game. You understand? Me, I'm like Daniel. I understand almost all of it. Okay, I understand almost every industry because I've been around it. You know, when you have agents, thousands of agents over the years, I run into everything. So I had to just get my toes into everything. So I sort of understand it all. You know what I'm saying? So that's land. So let's work on 3 things first. One is understand the value of what you guys are selling. Know how to break it all down. Okay? Know the difference between a good deal and a bad deal. Learn all the factors. In land, it's per acre, price per acre. In apartment complex, price per unit. In hospitality, price per door. In retail, price per square feet. Okay? You know, in industrial, price per cubic volume. Okay? It's different. It's different. Why do you think I tell you break it all up into different groups? Right? You learn it all, you never learn anything. So learn one thing first and see if you like it. Okay? Learn one thing first. After you learn how to price something out, then you learn who the people that want to buy this stuff is. And then, finally, you learn who the people that sell this stuff and try to get things on the market that people don't know about. You see? Okay? All right, and we'll stop there, okay? So we only have 15 minutes left. All right. I just need the information for the people. I need the information for the people for a group. So land, I know you guys kind of had a chance to talk, so spend like 2 or 3 minutes talking. Who could be our go-between here? So spend a couple minutes, real quick.
I'm available 8 hours a day. 12 hours a day.
I propose to
I'm too busy to be the one person. I like it.
Okay, so it's good to go to
For those people online, we're gonna give you the number for the group leaders in a minute here. They're just talking and choosing someone.
Maybe we should at least get the names of all of the people who are in this particular group, so that at least we know each other. Give phone numbers.
I think the easiest way is if we did a message. Yeah, and they had stuff in a group message. I can't have it in that when I add it either. Make a group message that everyone will say who they are. That would probably be the easiest.
No. Adrian and
should I be like think of the numbers right now?
Yeah.
Okay, wait now. Okay. The card would be easy.
apart from this year, we can just give each other.
Pass it around. Or just text me, and then what we'll do is make a group text and you put your name. Say, I'm this person, and then we can all try to show them.
I'm available 8 to 12 hours.
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute, just get your person so I can put it on the board, okay? 1 minute.
We're gonna do one for paper, and then I'm gonna text you guys. And then you guys respond. I'm and then I'll say it all, and then you say the
I've been
phone.
working this
Yeah, no, I'm definitely will today. It's a lot of numbers to give me a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, all right, guys. Okay, if I can get everyone's attention. All right, let's get everyone's attention. Okay, so, land group.
I'm doing Adrian.
Land group is with Adrian
And Annalisa.
and Annalisa. Annalisa, and then just give me one phone number. Or-
530.
What is it?
530-321.
Three. What is it?
4872.
Okay. All right. So for land, 530-321-4872. Okay. For multifamily. Okay. Who are they calling? Who?
Michael and.
Okay. Okay. Michael.
And Hal.
Michael Wall. Michael Wall. And then Mike, what's your name? What's your phone number?
916-804-6445.
6445. Mike Wall, okay? If you can't read my handwriting, then.
And Hal.
Well, I'll just put one for now, okay? One for now. Okay, for retail. Okay, who are they calling?
Heon,
Heon. How you spell that?
Heeyoun,
Y-O-U-N. Heon. And what's the phone number? Good number?
316
316
371
371
8000.
8000. Okay, so is it 916 or 316?
316.
316-371-8000, okay?
Everybody asked me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna text
Right,
everyone
exactly.
respond.
Okay, for office,
Jason,
Jason,
916
916
837
837
6094.
6094.
So we gotta do two, both of Jason.
Okay, okay. But I'm just put one for now, okay? And then finally, we gotta have room. And then for industrial, what do they call? Industrial. Okay, Lydia. Okay, just do one for now. Hey guys, keep it down, keep it down. Hey, everyone, keep it down because guys, everyone, let's keep it down just for a second because there's people who are online, they can't hear over you. So Lydia, 916 768 3077. Okay. For some reason, I'll have Sadruddin get these numbers down if you need, and you forget, then you can just email Sadruddin, he'll get this to you, okay? All right, so, see what time it is? We have 7 minutes, okay. So, for the groups, I suggest maybe a coffee time or something, any day, even right after this if you want, okay? Talk about getting together, and we will get you onto the CoStar for you start doing some homework, okay? Or whenever you're ready, okay? And you could add people to your group, or some people might drop out. It's gonna happen. You know, your 10-person group is gonna be like, you know, less than 10 soon. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happens. People get busy, okay? And then do the 3 things that I talked to you guys about. Okay? Just a couple of final announcements before I just let you off to do your thing, okay? Because I know you're excited on getting together and talking and so forth. Next week, I may ask some questions that are on this thing that I gave you for weekend reading for due diligence.
Okay.
Okay, I might ask you some questions on that. Okay, but other than that, you know, it's just going to be a 1-hour long test. We're going to start promptly at 10, okay, and end at 11. But it doesn't mean you leave at 11. We have a compliance meeting. Just so you know, starting this coming compliance meeting, we're having a compliance meeting last Tuesday of every month. Okay? In our compliance meetings will be fun because we're going to be giving out some awards and prizes for people that do well for the month. We're going to be announcing any new agents that join for the month. Okay? And we're going to be, announcing birthdays for the month and giving you updates for the month during our compliance meetings held on the last Tuesday of every month, okay? So we're gonna start doing those more often because the market is changing. And so as the market changes, there's more and more need to have compliance meetings, all right? And it'll be a good opportunity for groups to meet, more often, okay? So next week, compliance meeting is gonna be from 11 to 12, or 11 to like 11:45, and then we're gonna have a guest speaker for like 40 minutes, and there's gonna be a very nice lunch for everyone next week, okay? So make sure that everyone is there for the final, because we had our final, I figured let's kill 3 birds with 1 stone, get your compliance meeting in there, and get the guest speakers in there to talk about all the special loan programs coming out for next year. It's good for your clients, and really good for you to know what's out there, okay? So, all right, I'll let you guys talk, and then let one person from each group call me to schedule a time that works for you and works for your group and me to get you started on your commercial team. All right, see you guys later.